How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to this video. Now, Euro 2024 is kicking off later this week in Germany. And for this video, I thought we'd talk just a little bit about one of the teams that I expect to be very exciting in this tournament, Spain. Now, looking at the team selection for La Roya, I have to start off with the goalkeeper David Raya. Premier League fans and Arsenal fans will recognize him from their team and all of the good performances that he's put in for the Gunners this season. I think in David Raya you have a very exciting goalkeeper who's very commanding. He's a great shot stopper, but he's also very intelligent in understanding how to build up from the back. At right back, I think we will see Dani Carvajal from Real Madrid. Now, Carvajal is a great right back. He's very defensive minded, but when it comes to recognizing weaknesses in the opposition defense, he's very good at that as well. And then you will see Carvajal playing the ball into those weak spots, allowing his teammates to take advantage of those spaces. This is the kind of player who makes it very difficult for the opposition to mount any attacks on that right side of Spain's midfield. He's very solid, but he's also very alert. At centre-back, I have to talk a little bit about Aymeric Laporte. Now, Laporte is most known for his time at Manchester City. He has since left the Etihad after winning a treble with Manchester City during the 2022 and 2023 season. But I think in Laporte, they have a very solid centre-back who's very alert, who's very quick, he's very composed. This is the kind of centre-back that strikers really struggle to deal with. He's very physical, so he's not afraid to get down and dirty with the opposition attackers. But it's his intelligence that really shines through. In Spain's midfield, I think we have to talk about Laporte's former teammate at Manchester City in Rodri. Now, Rodri is still at the Etihad, and he's been a crucial part of Pep Guardiola's side for this season. I think Spain finally have a replacement for Sergio Busquets, a player who's able to win the ball back, harass the opposition midfield, but just boss those central areas, keeping the ball, distributing it well, but still being able to win it when the team loses out on possession. In terms of a more central and controlled role, I think we will see Barcelona's Fermin Lopez. Now, what I really like about Fermin is he's the kind of player who can play very well with the ball at his feet. He's very creative, he's very intelligent, he knows how to pick a pass, but he also knows how to get goals. I think if I have to compare him to a player, he plays a very Cesc Fabregas style of play. He does run with the ball at his feet, but it's not something that you see him really wanting to do. This is a player who instead will look to play 1-2s with other players, passing the ball, then moving into space quickly to receive it, and then looking to lay it off again or take a shot. He's very offensively minded, but he's also very good at controlling the game. Speaking of offensively minded, I think I have to talk about Fermin's Barcelona teammate in Pedri. Now, if we talk about Rodri being the successor to the role left vacant by Busquets, I think Pedri has a lot of potential to perhaps become similar to another Spanish great in Andres Iniesta. With Pedri, you have a player who also, like typical Spanish midfielders, knows how to move the ball, how to control it, how to dribble in such a way that he doesn't expend too much energy, but he's still able to retain the ball. But the added dimension of Pedri's game is this is a player who's not afraid to run at opposition players. He's not afraid to take other players on in 1v1 situations. And that is not something we see very often with Spanish players. But with Pedri, you can see he really enjoys taking players on, getting into the box, and scoring great individual goals. Up front for Spain, I think out wide we will see Nico Williams. Now, Nico Williams plays for Athletic Bilbao and he is a very talented young footballer. He is so quick, so difficult to defend against. He's got that kind of place that can just explode opposition defenses. And he knows exactly how to use it. With Nico Williams, you get a player who can just run out wide behind defenses to receive long balls, or who can take opposition defenders on in 1v1 situations. At number 9, I think we will see Atletico Madrid's Alvaro Morata. Now, even though he is still quite young, Morata's a very well-traveled striker. He's had stints at Real Madrid, Chelsea, and Juventus, so he understands many ways of playing the game. He is, however, the kind of player that you will see getting goals using his pace, posing a threat aerially or on the ground. Morata's a very flexible kind of striker. He can score a variety of goals, and Spain will be looking to him to be the player to get all of their goals in this tournament. On the right wing, I think we will probably see Barcelona's Ferran Torres. He's got the dribbling and technique to be able to beat players in 1v1 situations, but he's also very good at playing in long balls. This is a player who can cut in and take shots, scoring great individual goals, but more often than not, we see Ferran Torres going out wide, trying to beat players and then cut the ball back for a waiting teammate in the opposition box. And I think that'll give him the opportunity to get a lot of assists with a striker like Alvaro Morata. Morata obviously being the poacher, Ferran Torres being the player loading the ammunition for him out wide. In terms of tactics, Spain's coach here is Luis de la Fuente. Now, I think when we look at Spain, we're used to seeing them flood the midfield, control the game, play a more patient and more composed style of football. But in recent years, they've played a more direct style of football, still deciding to keep the ball, control the ball, keep the possession, hold on to it, but looking to be more direct with it now. You won't necessarily see them constantly playing the ball side to side and trying to probe to find gaps in the opposition defense. You will see them now trying to play the ball forward more often than not. I think we will see Spain employ a 4-3-3 formation here, still approaching the game with that possession style base, but now having the flexibility to also play on the counter attack. On the bench, they also have Joselu from Real Madrid, who has proven that he can also come off the bench and score very, very important goals for his club. In Lamine Yamal from Barcelona, also on the bench, they have a young player who has that individual quality to take the game to the opposition. And I think if this patient style of football doesn't work for Spain, they can always look to their bench, bringing on Lamine Yamal to just stretch the play out wide and just make opposition defenses a little bit more tired. Or they can even look to Oyarzabal from Real Sociedad, who also plays out wide but can also play centrally in a number 10 role or as a central striker. So I think Spain have a lot of flexibility, and De La Fuente knows there's many ways he can approach the game. I think also this means that Spain do have the potential to switch their game plan in an instant. If they're struggling to hold onto the ball in midfield, they can just switch to playing counter attack and know they're still very efficient in that style of play. But we will see them prioritizing keeping the ball. After all, if you keep the ball and the opposition can't get hold of it, they really can't score. Honestly, I think Spain have a very strong, very talented, and very young squad. This means they're going to be playing very energetic football. In past seasons, we have seen Spain keep the ball, move it around very slowly, be content with winning by just a single goal, because after all, a win is a win. But with this new Spain side, we see them playing more direct, looking to get more goals, looking to punish the opposition more often. I think when it comes to the possession game, they do still have the players to do this. Players like Rodri, Pedri, and Fermin, who can just keep the ball in the midfield and just pass it around between one another and bring other players and other teammates into this possession style of play. I think they have very good passing range between them as well, able to play very long range passes or play it short, looking for probing passes either from out wide or from centrally. I think, however, this is a very inexperienced squad because everybody's still fairly young. Yes, they have the energy, yes, they have the stamina, yes, they have the pace to now run at the opposition. But I think in terms of keeping things composed, they will struggle a little, especially centrally. I think if you hound and harass Pedri and Fermin, you can outmuscle them on the ball. And I think that's what opposition teams are going to look to do. I think also Spain do have slight weakness at centre-back. I think in Laporte, yes, they do have a very solid centre-back, but he can sometimes lack a bit of composure and become a bit too hot-headed. And I think with this Spanish squad, if at any point a player gets red carded, they're really going to struggle to get any kind of result against the opposition. I think at left back also, since Jordi Alba's retired, Spain have really struggled to find a decent left back who can just perform really good jobs for them. La Roya need players who are firing on all cylinders, players who are consistent, players who can replace one another. And I don't think they necessarily have that here. I think all the players they bring off the bench bring something new to the game. It's not a like for like replacement, which obviously can be beneficial when you're looking to shake things up, but it can be very detrimental if your game plan is working and a player picks up a knock. I think at the number 9 position as well, since the retirement of players like Fernando Torres and David Villa, Spain have really struggled to find an out-and-out centre forward, a player who can get goals, who can play with the ball at his feet, who can set up others. I think in Morata they have the potential to get that kind of player, but I think he really needs to prove it on an international stage. In terms of our rating here, I think defensively, I give Spain a 3 out of 5. They have a solid goalkeeper, they have a very good right back who's flexible and who can play centrally if it's necessary, but I think that left back position is going to be slightly problematic for them. In terms of midfield, I'm going to give Spain a 4 out of 5 here. I think they have very solid players, very composed players. In Rodri, they have a player who can win the ball back if they lose it. In Pedri, they have a player who can run at opposition defenses just to sort of create a bit of panic in the back line. And in Fermin, they have a player who can control the game. In Oyarzabal, they have a player who can come off the bench and play out wide. Everybody's flexible here. But I still don't see a kind of orchestrator player. Somebody like Xabi Alonso or Xavi Hernandez who can just keep the ball, control things on their own, and just has the patience to break things down slowly. Up front, I give Spain a 4 out of 5 as well. I think they've got a very good blend of goal scorers, pace, crossing ability, players who can cut in, dribbling in 1v1 situations. But I think still in terms of injuries, I think that is something that could really hurt them here. If Spain lose Alvaro Morata, or if Morata's just not having a good time in this tournament, I think they're really going to struggle to get goals. It will be a case of them having to play more patiently because now their direct outlet to goals is no longer available. La Roya are also in a very challenging group. They find themselves in a group alongside Croatia and Italy, who are also both heavyweights in this competition. So it will not be an easy task for them to get out of this group. But I do think they have the talent, the drive, the determination to get through. I think maybe Spain finish first or even second in this group. I think at the round of 16, fatigue starts to play a role. Obviously, having had to play matches against top teams, aggressive teams who will want to be getting that ball back from them. I think the round of 16, they do get through there. I think it does come with a lot of difficulty and a casualty or two on the injury list. I think the journey stops at the quarterfinals. I think that's as far as Spain go. I think the injuries then start to rack up. I think fatigue starts to rack up. I think players then start to just feel tired mentally and physically. And I think they lose the drive to continue. I think also knowing that Spain had a coach before, like Vicente Del Bosque, made them want to win more. They also had players who were used to playing with one another, where a bulk of the side was made up from Barcelona and Real Madrid players. But now we have players who are scattered, players who play with different ideologies. And I think that does affect their chemistry as a unit. So, I think Spain do go through, either as group leaders or runners up. I think they make it through the round of 16. A fair bit of difficulty though. But I think at the quarterfinals, the dream comes to an end for La Roya in Germany. Hi, thank you for making it to the end of this video. We really appreciate the watch time. And the fact that you took some time out of your day to spend it with us talking about the sport that we all love. If you enjoyed the content, why not, drop a like down below or comment in the comment section. Maybe even consider subscribing to the channel. And I mean, while you are here right now, have a look at some of our old videos too. They should be appearing on the screen right now, along with that subscribe button. So you know exactly what to do. Thank you so much. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. And have a great day out there. And we hope to see you again very, very soon. Thanks. Stay safe.